Okay, the Duramax is in here on our new billet aluminum CNC machine engine mount prototypes that bolt up to the factory 7.3 motor mount bushings and frame plates. We did them out of billet aluminum because I think billet aluminum is really cool, but if it's not strong enough, then we'll just have them machined out of steel. But this is our first prototype set, and you can kind of see one sitting right there, all bolted in. And then on this side, we have the other motor mount all bolted in. And this is legitimately the first time that we've actually set it down on its own weight. So, you know, on the mounts, I'm like shaking, nervous. Don't mind my worn out engine hoist here, but we're coming down. So we're gonna have to figure out how to support the back of the engine. Probably just take a jack. We'll let it rest against the firewall. But we are officially sitting on just motor mounts, no transmission yet. So that's why it's all tilted back and goofy looking. But we can figure out our transmission location and all those things now once we confirm. Let's take a look real quick. So what I'm looking at is where the bushing for the frame, or for the engine mount bushing, bolts to the frame plate, seeing if those studs are sitting down where they're supposed to, and they are, but that mount is definitely going to cause a little bit of a headache getting those nuts on.
Okay.
Then let's take a look at this side. This side's sitting all the way down in the holes too. Heck yeah. And obviously we're lopsided front to back, no transmission, but we're level side to side. I am very, very excited about how this is fitting up. So the next step, obviously we gotta do the transmission cross member so that we can get it, you know, the whole drivetrain sitting where it needs to be. But we're gonna do that transmission cross member, and then we're gonna start laying out the factory wiring harness. The goal with wiring is to make it so that you can take our standalone harness, and depending on your pinout and whatnot, you'll be able to just plug in the Duramax harness to the old connector for the Ford. We're gonna build a mount for the TCU and the ECU, and then gonna test and see if we can use the Powerstroke throttle pedal. If not, we're gonna make a mount for the Duramax pedal, and then we're gonna just do a pigtail for the wiring so that you can plug into your old throttle pedal and then plug into your new Duramax throttle pedal. So once we get wiring laid out, then this thing's coming back out and getting torn down because it's got a blown head gasket and 300,000 miles, and it's just, we want to start this truck. It's the third engine in this truck, and it'd be nice to just start with a fresh one. So this is going to go to the machine shop and get all the works done to it, D-lift, new pistons, all that stuff. So now it's time to test fit some wiring. Well, we put the camera down in order to test fit the core support, and we should have had the camera just rolling, but it fits like perfectly. You'll notice that we don't have body mount bushings and everything in there, but we just want to make sure, you know, especially since we're prototyping so many new parts on this, and the first one being the engine mounts, we wanted to make sure that we had no clearance issues. And if you come look, there's no clearance issues. We're accounting for having to bring it up like 1.5 inches or so, which should essentially put our fan shroud completely centered on the fan of the Duramax. And we have gobs of room. So this is really coming together nicely. You can see the upper radiator inlet, and the engine side is just going to be a simple hose right there. Yeah, there's so many things about this that are seeming like it's too good to be true. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm really excited. This is big progress. So now we've got the engine in and mounted on the new prototype mounts. It's time to start laying out the wiring, and we got my buddy Christian here, who is retired from the Navy as a, well, you introduced yourself.
I was an aviation electrician's mate in the Navy. Now I work on aircraft as an avionics technician here locally in Redmond. So I'm gonna be helping John build this harness for this swap.
Yeah. And we're going to make it so that it can be totally reproduced. And you didn't mention your LS powered FJ60 Land Cruiser.
Yeah, so I did an LS LM7 into a 60 series Land Cruiser that John and another buddy of mine brought down to me when I was stationed in California. Did the wiring for that one, and that turned out pretty good, so we're excited to get into this one too.
So the cool thing is that we've noted, I am super happy that Christian is down to do this because it just saves a lot of time, I think, and he's way better at it than me. But the GM ECU and TCM, or vice versa, was mounted right up here in a Chevy-ish, here-ish. And in a Ford, the ECU and the IDM were up here. So we're not going to need either one of those anymore for the Powerstroke. So we're going to put the Duramax, or the Allison TCM, and the Duramax ECU right here. And the wiring literally might just be the right length, because all we're doing is rotating from the front to the back, right, Christian?
It's true. We're trying to make this as streamlined as possible. The goal is going to be, when we build this harness, if you wanted to do this swap in the future, it's going to be as plug and play as we can. John's even talking about building brackets, and then to mount the computers, the ECM and ECU, or TCM.
Yeah.
And then we got our factory GM fuse block right here that we're going to integrate into the Ford connector there. So it'll just be, send a harness over, this thing gets repinned and rewired as necessary, and then it's going to plug right in
to the Ford connection.
Yeah.
I really hope that this is how it all ends up going.
Yeah.
If it does, everything so far has been working out almost too good, the freaking fan shroud lines up perfectly. Like, all of it seems too good to be true. So, and the wiring is apparently seeming that way too.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we'll hit our snags along the way, but we'll get them all ironed out.
Sweet. Well, we got the Duramax torn apart, and it's ready to go off to the machine shop, and we got a few boxes of other parts for getting hot tanked and doing the balanced rotating assembly and everything. And then this motor will be ready to go in the truck for hopefully the final time. I believe that's all we have for this video, so please like and subscribe and let us know what you think, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.